Hi, this is Brooks, and this tutorial will show you how to record a presentation in your Adobe Connect meeting room. So first thing, open a web browser and go to learn.datascience.berkeley.edu. Log in and open your meeting room. You will need to be able to use the Adobe Connect add-in. So if that's not currently working for you in your browser, please contact student support. So once your meeting room loads in the add-in, what you want to do is to create a new layout from the Layouts menu as the host. You want to create a blank layout. Call it whatever you want. I'll call it recording. And you can hide this little tray on the right if you see that. So you just want to see a blue screen as the host. You only need two pods. The video pod, which will show the talking heads of you and your team. Now the video pod can be big. You want to make it as small as possible. Put it all the way over here on the right and make it as skinny as you can while filling the screen from top to bottom. That'll be important for getting a good video later. And then next, add a new SharePod and load a PDF of your presentation slide deck. Now an easy way to do that is to drag and drop a PDF file onto the gray window. All right, so now what you want to do in preparation as the host for your team is you want to go to Audio and go to Audio Conference Settings. And you either have one or two options here. You have the use the microphone computer device or the using phone if the conference lines have been set up for your room. You actually, even if you do have the conference lines, you actually want to first try using the microphone in order to do a screen recording. So click on the microphone and then check the box, allow participants to use microphones. It's important to do a maybe 2-minute test video with your team on the microphone setting. And if the audio quality sounds good after you look at the recording, that's the preferable option. If the audio recording is bad, for instance, if a member of your team has a poor connection for voice over internet, then you can go ahead and use the conference line. So set that up. Now when your team joins, one of the nice things about doing a recording for a presentation is that you can take multiple takes. But before you actually get started, do two things to your PDF window. You want it to fit the width, and it's the width of this interior space. And you want to enable draw mode so that the PDF advances one slide at a time. Now this gray area around the sides of the box is something that it would be nice to kind of avoid. But it doesn't actually matter too much because when we make the screen recording, it'll constrain the dimensions of your window anyway. But this is about how we'd like it to look in the end. All right, so in order to start a recording, make sure that all of your team members are in the room and their audio is connected. So in order to allow them to start audio, you have to, as the host, select Start Meeting Audio. Connect your own audio. Make sure that the whole team is connected before you start the recording. You'll see a microphone icon if you have the voice over internet option selected, or you'll see a telephone if you've got the teleconference line option selected. So turn on your video, start sharing, and have the rest of your team do the same. And now you're ready to go. In order to start a recording, go under Meeting and choose Record Meeting. Give it a sensible title that'll help you out. So I'll call this Take 1. And now we're recording. So let me pretend to give a little presentation here. The exciting title of my presentation is Title, Optional Subtitle. This part of the take is going pretty well. Right about now, I'm making a mistake. I'm going to want to edit that out later. Now I'm doing pretty well again. this will let me show you in a little bit how you can edit out the mistakes that you make. So great video. Good job, team. Go ahead and hit the little red button and choose stop recording, or go under meeting and you'll have an option to stop the recording there. So now you have a recording in the administrative backend of your Adobe Connect room, which is called Adobe Connect Central. You should be able to go to the meeting menu and choose the option Manage Meeting Information. If that doesn't work, for whatever reason, you might have to choose that from within a browser window version of Connect. So even if you have the add-in open, just to get you to this website, you may need to click New Meeting Room window here. Sorry, I know it's a little frustrating, but if you are in your add-in and you choose Meeting Info and it doesn't work, try it here. And then you can close that other window. So from the meeting information page, you'll have some options available to you to inspect some of the administrative features of your Adobe Connect room. And one of those will be a recordings tab. So click on recording. And here we see take one, which is the recording that we just did. So you can do several things with this. If you check the actions button, you can edit recording or make offline, and that means make an offline copy of the video. So you can also click on the name of the video and you have one more option, edit information. So you could change the information if you wanted to. This is the URL for a flash version of your video, so you can already share this recording. Access type and change it to public, and you can put a password on it if you want to. So I just made that public. This is a video that you will be able to share with me or anyone else in the class. But we had a few hiccups in there, so let's edit the recording first. Now it may open up the add-in window again, which is fine. And now you're in an editor. Let me find a spot that was kind of a hiccup. Exciting title of my presentation is title, optional subtitle. This part of the take is going pretty well. Right about now, I'm making a mistake. I'm going to want to edit that out later. Edit out that mistake. I'm making a mistake. Looks about right. So hit cut. This part of the take is going pretty well. Right about now. Yep. Now I'm doing pretty well again. We're able to get rid of that hiccup. So that's something nice to kind of polish up, so you don't actually have to record an entire take if you just made a few hiccups along the way. You could get really nuanced here if you wanted to, and have members of your team record multiple takes for their segment, but I wouldn't make it too complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine. So after you cut out the sections that you don't like, press save. And you can close this window. So now that we have an edited version, let's go ahead and do the last few steps, which is to actually make the recording. If it's giving you grief about opening this up, that means you may have to actually close the meeting room. So do all of your recordings before you head off to the editing room, and touch base with your host and your team to make sure that things go well in the exporting of the video. Don't let your team run away, because you might find that you want to do another take here. But the host may need to close their Adobe Connect window while in order to actually record the offline version. So again, click Make Offline. The add-in will pop open again. We'll assume, we can check here in a second, but we'll assume that the recording was edited the way we wanted it to be. You want to choose MP4 recording for good compression quality. And you want to either choose desktop or mobile, but for the purposes of the class, please choose mobile. Now you see, don't mess with any of the advanced options. This is a good optimized setting for viewing this over the web, which will make it easy to share with your colleagues and with me. So go ahead and click proceed with offline recording, and it'll start recording. It'll play in live time, so you need to wait. Maybe if you have a 10-minute presentation, you'd have to wait 10 minutes to record it. It'll ask you to choose a place to save it. And now we're recording. So let me pretend to give a little presentation here. The exciting title of my presentation is title, optional subtitle. This part of the take is going pretty well. Right about now I'm doing pretty well again. This will let me show you in a little bit how you can edit out the mistakes that you make. So, great video. Good job, team. Go ahead and hit the little red button and choose. All right. So, the editing wasn't totally brilliant. You're not going to win an Oscar for editing here, but it's fine for our purposes. Notice that no matter how you actually set up your room, the dimensions are going to be reframed for this mobile output, which is a pretty small window. So that's why the best way to make this look correct and have the least amount of gray space around it is to have the video talking head portion be all the way on the right, so that the slide deck takes up the most space. We are glad to see your face, but we are mostly concerned with the quality of your audio. So you can close the connect, and now you should have a very nicely compressed, only a 1 megabyte per 30 seconds MP4 video, and now we're recording. So let me pretend to give a little presentation here. The exciting title of my presentation is title, optional subtitle. This part of the take is going pretty well. Right about now I'm doing pretty well again. So it's a little bit of a hiccup. If you don't like that, if you're a stickler or perfectionist, then you will just have to do a perfect take. It won't be like that if you chop off the beginning and the end of the tape. Won't have that kind of jarring transition. So if you have some pause at the beginning, or if you trail off at the end, you can edit the beginning and end without having a visible hiccup. So you'll want to upload this to the folder that was given to you as your submission, and then if you succeeded in doing a voice over internet recording, there's one other thing that I'd like you to do, and that is to actually download the source file for the video, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. The thing that's pretty neat about the source file is each of your individual video feeds will be parsed out separately. This will allow us to see, to give you, each individual member of your team, some feedback about their audio quality and their presentation, since we'll only hear the audio coming from their feed. So in order to download the source, you need to put in a URL argument to Adobe, and you'll need the ID number. Here it's the string of characters. You take that and give a special URL and insert the ID into this URL, and I'll share that with you, and it will let you download the source material as a zip folder. And here you can see a lot of information that is used to collapse into a single video. And one of the things will be a separate video feed for each of the team members, including their audio in their video. Okay, great. Thanks for listening.